Hi, this is Matt with Inmate Search Info. Today we're going to be looking at how to find Rhode Island inmates. The Rhode Island Department of Corrections offers a searchable database of current inmates. Before going into the search, you're going to want to look through the disclaimer that the DOC offers, which is basically to say that the information is presented as accurately as possible. However, they don't want you to use this information for any official purpose or any official legal purpose. Some of the things that fall into that category might include housing, credit decisions, or employment decisions. So you don't want to use this information incorrectly. Please consult a lawyer or other legal professional before you make those kinds of decisions. Certainly don't use these for any official purpose, or of course anything for harassment or threatening behavior, anything like that, or else you might find yourself in one of these kinds of searches, and we don't want that. So after agreeing to those terms, we'll see that Rhode Island offers a pretty standard search for their inmates. If you happen to have the inmate ID number, you can put that in and get taken directly to the person you're interested in. Otherwise, you can search by name. You can break it down by race, sex, and age. Now, Rhode Island doesn't have, not surprisingly, a lot of inmates, so you might want to keep the search more or less general. Now, this name type thing may not make sense to you until you click on it and you see that they're offering to search by alias or just by real name. So if you are 100% sure that you know someone by their legal name, you can narrow down your results a little bit by selecting real. Otherwise, just leave it at both on the off chance you don't know someone by their actual legal name. So we're going to go ahead and do a general search here in just a second so we can see what kind of results we get. Okay, so because the population is so small, the inmate population, we're just going to use a very generic search to make sure that we get some results here. So I just put in the last name. I'm not going to narrow it down any further, and then we get our list of results. So obviously, even for a very common last name, not a lot of results here, but you do get the inmate ID number, which is something you may need for visitation purposes or for correspondence, whatever the case might be. You get a basic demographic breakdown, and they tell you the type of facility that the person is in, but not the actual facility, which is a little unusual. Even this last residence is not terribly helpful. We'll look at that a little more closely in a second. But if you click on the inmate details, you get taken to a profile. The profile does not offer pictures. Rhode Island is not a state that will give you photos of the person. Some states are very extensive with their photographs. You can see historic and present photographs all the way through, but Rhode Island, at least for this kind of offender search, doesn't offer it. If you check out our link below to the Inmate Search Info page, we have other types of offender searches you can do where you would be able to see photos. Now, for this particular person, they do have past sentencing here, and this is the release date from the past sentencing. Rhode Island does not offer historical information, so you're not going to find results from people that may have been in the system but are not currently in the system. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for someone that's already kind of out, then you may have to do a more general type of background check. Again, something we can potentially help you with if you check out our page. Now, for this particular person, we have this blank area here. So for this good time release date, kind of an odd way of saying that that's sort of the expected release date. The presumption here is that this is someone maybe in for life without the possibility of parole. We don't want to assume that, but because there's no date there, that would kind of make us think that's maybe the situation. Because if we look at some other ones that have, let's do a medium security, there are these later release dates. So this would be kind of like, the presumably earliest potential release date. So that could be something of use to you for those for whom that applies. Now, we talked about the kind of residence and security thing that Rhode Island does here. If we click on the link that they have, basically, like for this one, for the medium facility, there are two. So it doesn't tell you which one they're at. This Providence thing, if we go to actually our sister site, which is Inmate Locator, we see that that may be referring to a police jail where obviously they're not serving their sentence. So not sure why they offer that, but not the actual facility where they're currently located. But in any case, they do give you that info. Maybe that's helpful if you know where they were booked in. But if you need to find out, where they're actually located, you may have to make a couple of phone calls if they're in one of the facilities, like a medium one where there's more than one. Obviously, if it's a minimum one where there's only one, high security where there's only one, it is helpful, I guess, in that way. So I think that's pretty much it there. We do have kind of this, how the things have kind of progressed here. Case numbers, which may be of use to you, but and then obviously, of course, I may have neglected to mention the crimes themselves for which there were sentencing applied. So all that information can be found there. Again, trying to determine if you have the correct person, because the population is so small. Even with this last name Smith, we don't have a lot of results. One thing that I didn't notice is they don't appear to have aliases or AKAs as an option for the results. So if it happens to be that someone by a different name, it doesn't tell you what they're, in this case at least, what they may have. It doesn't give you the list of AKAs. So if you know someone by a couple of different names or a nickname, they're not giving you that kind of result. Some other states will do that though. But that's something where, a basic background check, kind of a general background check or public record search might be able to help, because those are not as strict in that regard. They can also make some associations that this kind of search can't do. So again, if you're looking for someone, if you'd like a link to this page or other types of offender searches available in Rhode Island, links to the actual facilities themselves, jails, phone numbers, contact numbers, things like that, please visit our link below. Thanks so much for watching.